Hello grade 10, I hope you're good. I'm Khiwa Jirdi. I'll be teaching you biology and chemistry for this year. The first chapter we're gonna start with is the nutritive needs of a chlorophyllic plant. And when we say chlorophyllic plant, we mean green plants. So, chlorophyllic plants are the producers of organic matter. They are also called autotrophs. Producers of organic matter is the synonym of autotroph, which means that chlorophyllic plants make their own food. We don't give the plant the food. Chlorophyllic plants, they make their own food. Okay? So, chlorophyllic plants, in order to make their own food, they need initial materials which they take from their environment. What are these initial materials? Water. Water is a fundamental factor, a very important factor in plant production. Availability of water influences the growth of plants, which means that water is very essential for the growth of the plant and for the productivity of the plant in order to give the fruit to be fruitful. Availability of water is the main cause for the growth of plants. Now, irrigation means watering the crops. Irrigation of crops must be controlled to avoid wasting by excess water, which means that we should irrigate, we should water the plants in an optimal level. Optimal level, which means not more and not less. Decreased quantity of water will cause the plant to wilt, to die, and excess of water, watering it more than it needs, also cause problems for the plant. It will not be able to get rid of all of this water, then it will wilt. Also, the supply of fertilizers is effective on the crop productivity. The supply of fertilizers is not essential for the growth of plant. The plant can grow without fertilizers, but in order to be more productive, to give more fruits, to give healthy fruits, we add to it fertilizers, okay? Now, as you can see in this document shows the productivity of wheat as a function of annual precipitation. So, how do I read this document, or how do I give this document a title? I give it a title, Y as the function of X. What do we have on the y-axis? Productivity. What do we have on the x-axis? Annual precipitation. So this graph shows the productivity of wheat in tons per hectare as a function of annual precipitation in millimeter. So here, as we can see, the productivity increases as the annual precipitation increases to 300. And when we talk about annual precipitation, it is the annual precipitation of water, the amount of water that is stored underground. So the productivity increases to around 2.5 tons per hectare as the annual precipitation increased to 300 millimeter. As the annual precipitation continues to increase to like 550 millimeter, the productivity decreased because, as we said, too much water is not healthy for the plant. We should give it optimal amount of water, neutral amount of water, the amount of water it needs. As we observe document 2, we can see that the average productivity of dry matter per hectare, the productivity of this plant, for example the corn, the irrigated is 9.19, which is very good. The non-irrigated is less, which is 6.53 tons. Similarly, the sunflower, the non-irrigated sunflower is 2.52 tons, while the irrigated is 3.26 tons. So we can know that irrigation increases the productivity of plants, We should irrigate them. We should water them. This document shows the productivity of wheat crops as a function of the presence and absence of fertilizers. So, plots of soil with the productivity of plots of soil without fertilizers was 0.82 tons per hectare, while those with NPK fertilizers, which is nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, is 2.69 tons per hectare. We deduce that fertilizers increase the productivity of plants. Chlorophyllic plants need carbon dioxide. So previously we said that chlorophyllic plants need water, the first main need of a plant. The second one is the need for carbon dioxide. Here we have 3 lots of radish seeds that were weighed and sowed. We weighed them and we sowed them. We put them inside 3 transparent jars, more or less rich in carbon dioxide, which means carbon dioxide is a variable factor here. Please pay attention to the terms that I am using. Variable factor. That variable factor means a factor that is changing. It is not fixed. While the conditions that are fixed for the 3 lots are light, temperature, and irrigation, that were the same in the 3 cases. So the fixed factors here, the factors that are not changing in the 3 lots, that are the same in the 3 lots, are they have the same amount of light, the same temperature, and we're irrigating them in the same amount. While the variable factor here, the factor that is changing in the 3 lots, is the amount of carbon dioxide. As we can see, in the first lot, we're giving it atmospheric air. The amount of CO2 or the concentration or the percentage was 0.03%. We can see optimal growth of the plant, of the chlorophyllic plant. It's fine, it's growing healthy. The growth is optimal, which is medium. While in the second lot, the concentration of CO2 is 0%, we can see that the plants wilted. The plants wilted. They are not giving the radish fruit and they're not healthy. They are dead. While in the third lot, where we gave them air enriched in CO2, the amount of CO2 was high, 3%. We can see very good growth in these plants, okay? Increased growth in these plants, and the fruit is also bigger, or the vegetable here, it is the radish. So the increase in the amount of CO2 is very important for the growth of the plant. So the first factor is irrigation or water. The second factor is the enrichment in carbon dioxide. As we can see in this picture, this is a process called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process by which the plant makes its own food. As we can see here, the plants take water and mineral salts from the soil. Okay? This water and mineral salts go upward toward the leaves. Okay? Goes upward toward the leaves, which means in an ascending manner. Upward means in an ascending manner. So water and mineral salts go in an ascending manner to reach the leaves. Meanwhile, the leaves take carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and they capture the energy from the sunlight. So the water and mineral salts in the presence of carbon dioxide captured from the air and energy captured from the sunlight, water and mineral salt are transferred into organic matter. Organic matter is the sugar that the plant needs. So in this way, the plant has made its own food. This organic matter, that is the sugar, that is we call the elaborated sap. Elaborated sap is the food of the plant. This organic matter then moves in a descending manner downward from the leaves to all of the plant, to be distributed to all of the plant. So in this way, The plant makes its own food, and this process is called photosynthesis. Now, when we say chlorophyllc plant means green plants, as I said previously, green plants. They are green plants because they have chloroplast. And here we're pointing in it in the red circle. Chloroplast contain chlorophyll. Chlorophyll gives the plant the green color, and they are responsible for trapping the energy from the sun or trapping the sunlight. So the chloroplast contain chlorophyll, which capture the sunlight and gives the plant its green color. So chloroplast is a green cellular organelle which contain chlorophyll located in the cells, which gives the plant its green color and trap the sunlight. A green cellular organelle, not organelles. Now, how to test the presence of starch? I want to know if this leaf contains starch. I bring the leaf, I boil it for sure in hot water. Then I remove the leaf, I dip it in ethanol, I wash it after that, and then I add the iodine test. If it gives blue color with the iodine test, then this leaf contains starch. Then I know that this leaf has undergone photosynthesis. Okay? Why I dip it in ethanol? I dip it in ethanol to decolorize the leaf and in order to be able to detect the blue color and test for the presence of starch. So step 1, boil the leaf in hot water. Step 2, dip it in ethanol. Step 3, wash the leaf and leave it for some time. Then add to it iodine test to observe the blue color. So again, this is another example. Here we have a leaf that has green color in the middle and is colorless from the outside. Green color in the middle means that there is chlorophyll. As we said, the chlorophyll gives the plant its green color. The white part or the colorless part around the green part does not contain chlorophyll because it has no green color. So white part of the leaf means there is no chlorophyll. Now, we decolorize the leaf. How do we decolorize it? I just said it. We boil it, then we dip it in ethanol, okay? After some time we wash it, then we add to it the iodine solution. We can see that only the green color that has the chlorophyll was able to undergo photosynthesis and make its own food and make starch. That's why when we added iodine to this leaf, only the part that has chlorophyll turned into blue, while the part that was not green didn't make a blue color because it was not able to undergo photosynthesis because it doesn't contain chlorophyll to capture the sunlight and do this process. Okay? Now, chemical reaction of photosynthesis is 6 CO2, carbon dioxide, 6 carbon dioxide molecules plus 6 water molecules under the presence of sunlight gives glucose, which is C6H12O6, and releases oxygen. Okay? Here is the process in details. The roots absorbs water and mineral salts. They form the crude sap. We call it the crude sap. This crude sap moves in an ascending manner to the leaves. Meanwhile, the leaves absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and trap the energy from the sun, trap the sunlight, okay, and transform the crude sap, which is water and mineral salts, into elaborated sap, which is the food of the plant. Elaborated sap is the starch, is the organic matter that the plant make. This elaborated sap moves in a descending manner downwards toward all the plant. Meanwhile, the plant releases oxygen. That's why we can breathe, because green plants give us oxygen. That's why we should not cut the trees in order to have enough oxygen. So again, the plants take the crude sap, which is water and mineral salts. This crude sap move upwards toward the leaf. Meanwhile, the leaves take carbon dioxide and energy from the sun. They produce oxygen and elaborated sap, oxygen outside to the atmosphere, while the elaborated sap moves throughout all the plant in a descending manner, which is downward. Again, in this figure, we can see H2O, which is water, released out of the leaf. This process is called the transpiration. Transpiration is the process in which the plant releases excess water outside it through the leaves. Okay? So the excess water that we give to the plant is gone by the process that is called the transpiration outside the leaf. I hope you enjoyed this session. We will meet up soon, hopefully.